Wrenn, congratulations for the Starling Girl.
Thanks so much.
Such a fascinating story. But
Yeah.
but we want to hear it from you. Is what initially drew you to this film?
I mean, really for me, it was the script. I I came to this project in a very traditional way. I got the script, I got an audition appointment, I made a self-tape, and just on a first read, Laurel's story is so carefully crafted and palpable. I mean, I really feel like you can of course, like the film is so much above and beyond what the script was just on the page, but I felt like I already had such a clear sense of the story and kind of like the feeling of the story. And I also was really attracted to the challenge of playing Heidi, and kind of filling in why she's doing what she's doing. I always think that that's one of the most exciting parts about my job is kind of discovering or figuring out like what's the motivation for why this person is doing this thing, but especially if it's something that feels very counterintuitive to what I would do as Wrenn. So that was really kind of like the starting point.
So, what do you suppose was Heidi's motivations and expectations, and how did you get in the mindset of that type of character?
I mean, I'm a mom. I have a daughter who's almost 4. And one of the things that I feel is very relatable for me is just the sense of wanting to protect her and keep her safe and shield her from things that could be hurtful. And, I think that for every parent, that's really difficult to balance with also letting your child have freedom. So that was really like a big component for me. And also just this idea of the ways in which our own experiences in the world can shape kind of like how we see potential threats or potential um like pitfalls for our children. So those were really kind of like the seeds that I planted for Heidi that felt like they were really really helpful to kind of explain how she's parenting with all of her kids, but especially Jem. If there was something in her past that is informing how she's seeing what Jem is going through, that she wants to protect Jem from, especially given like how curious and thoughtful and precocious Jem is, and kind of rebellious. It all that's when things really started to click for me.
Did you think Heidi was kind of disappointed in her family, with Jem and Paul?
No, that's a great question, but no, I think Heidi. So Jimmy Simpson, who plays Paul, we talked a little bit about this. Heidi and Paul, we kind of decided definitely knew each other before they were in this specific church community, and both of them have kind of personal demons that they deal with in very, very different ways. Heidi's is kind of the veneer of like, everything's fine, everything's great, life is good. I can, by doing all the right things and following the scripture and following this belief system and being in this church, like everything can be warded off and, like everything's good. And, Paul deals with that, of course, in a very different way. But I also think that while there might be some frustration and disappointment there, like Heidi's not unaware of that, like that was something they experienced together before they had children. And as far as like Jem, I don't know. My now that I'm thinking about that a little more deeply, I think there probably is a level of disappointment. But I think that also comes with like again like a very universal sense of a parent wanting to like guide their children towards the things that they think are good for them and also shield them from really kind of like hard life lessons. And I definitely think that when you're a mom of a teenage girl, it's really like a precarious thing to know that your child is having more thoughts and curiosity about sex and sexuality, specifically in this community too, which in which that's very very threatening. But I don't know, it's a really big thing when you're a young woman because the consequences are, I mean, I don't have to say it, they're huge.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, that's why this the Starling Girl makes a really fascinating and great story. So, Wrenn, thank you very much for carrying this conversation.
Yeah, it was really nice chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.